Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Pitchside podcast.
Pitchside podcast
with the legends.
Hey, khalekile ka tla man.
Eh?
Khalekile ka tla podcasting.
Hey, no.
Hey, neke travel.
No,
Neke le Europe.
Europe ka mo sanisa ka.
Fika ke fly. Passport ka empty.
All right.
Hey.
But that is tempe.
Why bona again?
No. Buffett, how are you guys?
No, we're good.
We're good.
Yeah.
We all know, guys, it's that time of the season towards the end, you know. The moment where teams are either sprinting, some are either trying to jump the hurdle because of relegation candidates. Some Mamelodi Sundowns are in the position to actually, you know, secure another league. But within that, there's a lot of games still that needs to be played, important games as well that needs to be won. We had a game previously against, you know, Richards Bay that are also fighting for relegation in that space.
You know, those are the difficult matches, you know, Modise,
Yeah.
or you know, Spirit, that playing against your Richards Bay, you're now Super Sport and Cape Town City, which I believe they are in an unusual
unfamiliar zone.
That's an unfamiliar zone. But those are the difficult matches in a sense that as a team, you are expected to win.
Yeah.
But as a team, you know it's not easy to win them against them because they are difficult. They just play it a difficult match. If you saw a match against Richards Bay, how they made it difficult in some matches, in some moments where apparently they targeted the right fullback where Mudiva operates.
Yeah.
They isolated Mudiva, and that's where they gave Mudiva a nice play in the midfield. But there's a matches where every point is important.
Yeah.
And you want to go into the podium knowing very well that you did the business. And this is the performance where I can easily say Mamelodi Sundowns, they are playing matured football.
Yeah.
They know, understand the space they are in. And they take this game as they come with the level of consistency in their performances. And what I like about the team now is the fact that they've found a formula of winning difficult matches, and that's important.
What I like the most is seeing how a lot of substitutions were made, especially in this time of the season, whereby you've got your Mkulise, you've got your Jaden coming on and still maintaining the balance in the midfield. You've got Tapelo coming in. You'd think that the energy is gone, but now you've got a VR6 that is coming. That's another effort. It's seeing Temba coming back. Terence also getting a run. That's good. It tells you that the team is now preparing for the last few games of the league. At the same time, also preparing the rest of the team for the Club World Cup.
Yeah.
So you're having a lot of players having joy. So that's what I liked the most.
And I guess also because, guys, we're exposed as well to international football. We're football people. We watch top teams in the world. You look at what's common with the top teams in the world at this time of the season. They always try to refresh the team by not depleting the quality within the team itself. So, and Mamelodi Sundowns, luckily, because they're so exposed to so many competitions, and around this time you have to have those type of things. And it's important as well to have a player like Themba Zwane that's coming back. It's important as well to have your Mkulise as well. It's important your Neo Maemas. It's important because then what it does then, you actually finish the league a little bit fresher because other teams are finishing the league because of, you know, they don't have the depth in quality. And I think with Mamelodi Sundowns, you're very fortunate because you could see the game against Richards Bay. It's just a disadvantage for your Richards Bay type of a team because you don't know how to play Mamelodi Sundowns, and then you actually now resorting to being defensive, which is caused by what? Fear. So now you're restricted based on your talent. You don't know if you can actually win against Mamelodi Sundowns because you're not planning to win. You're planning to get at least, let me get a result. And I think, Hlompho, it comes back to what you're saying. Now, when you're Mamelodi Sundowns and the players that we have, they now have learned to win games that are very difficult because they understand that every game it's difficult. And the ones that are easy, you might got a 5, 6, 7. Because next week you might meet a game that requires a 1-0 ka 89th minute. And I think maybe that's what makes Mamelodi Sundowns such a great team.
And I get so pissed when I don't know whether pissed is the right way to use, where Annoyed maybe the right word when I see people sometimes downplaying, the success of the team.
Yeah.
Difficult to win the league, and
Yeah.
I can name so many players
Yeah.
that were great in South African
But
football,
never
in
won
the
the league.
world, in
Yeah,
the world,
yeah.
of football, where they never had a privilege of winning the league.
I nearly became that player.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it doesn't even take individuals to win the league.
Yeah.
It takes a team to win the league. And when you see a team that is resilient as Mamelodi Sundowns, because they do it and it looks so easy.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's easy to be outside and think,
I can do this.
Yeah, we can.
it's given.
Yeah.
But if you are a football person and
marathon,
you're
eh?
sitting down, then you are not actually. You're right. And you're sitting down and you'll be like, okay, if it's that easy, why
Why
my team or
It's not
Zebedela United can't come and win the league? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
it doesn't require one match
Yeah.
or two matches
Yeah.
or three matches.
Yeah.
It requires more than 50 matches
Yeah.
if you that good.
Of preparation.
Of preparation.
Yeah.
And plus you have to, in those cups that you're gonna be knocked out, those are the preparation for the next match, because you wanna react from
Yeah. From
those
the results.
matches.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it takes mental strength that is not a normal mental strength.
Yeah.
A mental strength of saying we lost against Zebedela United. What will be the reaction after that? That's why if you count the number of games that Sundowns played in the last 8 years, they didn't lose 3 matches in a row. Why is that? Different mentality. Because they believe that
It's a V12 machine.
you know
Super
what I mean?
team.
So I've realized that, and I get so annoyed when I heard conversation says, no, yeah, Mamelodi Sundowns is given for them to win the league or winning this trophy.
There's
And
too
if
much
it was given, think about the trophies that we out of them.
But also you're right, Hlompho, but also sometimes now I have leniency when it comes to that, in a sense that because it has never been done before.
Yeah.
We always criticize what we don't understand. We criticize what we don't know. Well, understand. So
It's an unusual thing.
Yeah.
Before.
So we always trying to find something wrong, and it comes back to then we're very selective in a sense. When Mamelodi Sundowns, we only the one that annoys you when you have such conversation. The only time they raise Mamelodi Sundowns flag is only when the national team is playing. Because then you have 8 to 9 players that are Sundowns players that are playing in the lineup. But other than that, so we're very selective, which is normal, because then we have all these different teams that we're supporting. But in South Africa, we have the tendency of, when you come up, potential, steps for you to go up. But once you stay longer at the top,
Too long at the top.
hey, no, you're staying too long. You need to give others a chance, and people don't understand.
Others?
And that's the thing. The potential. Everybody has the potential, ne, to go and reach the greatest heights. But then, the toughest job is to stay at the top.
And maintain
So you look at Mamelodi Sundowns. Yes, you look at Mamelodi Sundowns when, in other conversations, like Mamelodi Sundowns always signing, they've got the power to sign. Before we came here, Mamelodi Sundowns, it has signed top players as well.
Oh.
It didn't start with us.
Has always had
You understand?
players.
But because then they were taking a mockery out of that, because Mamelodi Sundowns was not successful. Yeah, you can sign top players but never win.
Yeah.
Now you're winning. You've got this. So it's a go on to you will never win. And I think also because Mamelodi Sundowns is so dominant, not only dominant in South Africa but dominant as well in the continent. It's something that's very difficult for people to accept, and it's okay for them to accept. But every season they'll clap hands when you get into the podium. That's how life is, Now we're looking at also, like, we played a very difficult game against Richards Bay. Maximum points collected, clean sheet, very important. We're going also to play against a team that is struggling way more than Richards Bay. Unfamiliar position, that is Cape Town City.
Yeah.
That they do have a new technical team. Roger Disa also has been part of that, and as a coach that knows how to rally his team to become better, and it's a team as well that John committees will fight for them not to go be relegated. How tough will this be in this encounter? Because the last time we played them, yes, we did win the game this season, but this season they haven't been themselves.
Yeah,
Do you think maybe they might use a game? Maybe this might be the game that they come back. Because if you remember, there was a season we were supposed to be invincible. They were the only team that came in and disturbed the party. we are in this space again, but not maybe now in a position of being invincible, but in a position to seal the league.
Yeah.
Will that be maybe a stumbling block if you have to think about it?
You know, they can draw motivation from anywhere because these are a team that you don't know what to expect from them.
Yeah.
They never had this kind of season since we knew them.
Yeah.
And for me, I think it's a team that you cannot really predict what they're gonna come out, because when you look at the players, they've got quality players.
Of course they do.
Quality players in the midfield, the quality players in the striking positions. They look like a team that can beat anybody. When you remember the match against Kaizer Chiefs in when Machine took over,
Yeah.
they look like a different team
Yeah,
altogether. in
all
this
of a
season.
sudden,
all of
yeah.
a sudden things go. So I'm sure the ups and downs of this season will really play in their mind forever.
Yeah.
Simply because they know they are better than what they've given this season.
Yeah.
And when you play against a team like Mamelodi Sundowns, where everybody's gunning for, you wanna be counted. Some players there, I'm sure they feel like, God forbid, if we go down, who's gonna take me if I don't perform well in this match? So it's the fixture where you'll try by all means to put yourself out there, you know. But of course, they will wanna win it because there's a rivalry of this team.
And Cape Town City, it's been there for long.
They've
And
been troubling us.
What I like also that we should also be aware is they've got experienced individuals within the setup. You've got your Mokocho, you've got your Serero that can easily put Makaringe. They've got that kind of mindset that they can play under pressure. They can find a way to salvage the game in a way that will be beneficial. So we also should not just go there as though the game is done before we play. They've got players who can turn up the heat on the day. And we need to also make sure that we are on top of our game, maintain the momentum, do not drop the ball from the past results that we just had. We continue with that in order for us to finish the league on a high.
And I can't question I can't question the level of focus to these boys, simply because they know how to juggle the different competitions with the same mentality, the same drive. I just love watching them. You know, it's a marvel to watch. Players that they do this, and you know how difficult it is to play in the same quality, same drive, same intensity. But when I see them, and I'm adding on what you guys are saying, that I've got no doubt that they know the importance of winning these last matches. And because it's not a preparation for now.
Sets you up future,
if we go to Club World Cup, you want to go there with references of saying we've won so many matches, therefore we cannot lose now. You know what I mean? So those are the conversation I'm sure the players have to say, we want to play these matches and never lose, and that will feel good, because at the end of the season we want to be in a good position.
But also I feel like with what you're saying about Mamelodi Sundowns, how you enjoy watching them, and how the importance of winning every game, maturity, and playing as a team and continuing again with the same mentality. It's a Mamelodi Sundowns players that are in a very fortunate position. Not many teams are able to say that.
That's true.
And sometimes from an educational point of view, to say Mamelodi Sundowns have been in a position where they felt threatened by relegation. So when you are a footballer in a team, a very good footballer in a team that is struggling a little bit, that's your story. Take those moments as educational, because then now that you know how it feels like to play fighting for your life, now the only way now to go is to go up. Fight for honors now, because the more watch is you don't want to fight that. And I strongly believe that with Cape Town City, as much as they are struggling, they do have quality players that can turn on the heat. And as Mamelodi Sundowns, when playing them, we can't allow them to do that with us. Let them do that with somebody else. We can't allow them to do that with us, because they will disrupt our rhythm. And to start to stop and start. It is not cool. So Sugar, in closing, what message would you say to the fans, or what message would you give to the fans, knowing, especially seeing how supportive they were, in a midweek game against a Richards Bay? Because sometimes as fans we get complacent because we've got so many big games as Mamelodi Sundowns. We're choosing games, and you can see that still fans, especially this season, they've been very, very consistent in supporting the team.
Yeah, it's just to echo the same words that the chairman mentioned just after the game against Richards Bay, that the players have made a request that let the supporters come in numbers, especially towards these last few games of the season. Their chants, their singing, their drum beating really, really plays a role, because after all, players are human and they need that extra push, that extra energy that they get from the stands. You see how many times the players tend to look at the supporters and lift their hands to ask the supporters to keep on singing it.
I saw Arsenal players doing that.
Yeah, doing that.
And it plays a very big role, especially now. This is where now, as Mamelodi Sundowns, we've embarked on a hashtag, my team needs me. So this is where now the boys have also voiced out that the more the supporters are in the stadium, the more they feel responsible of making sure they get the result. They put it upon themselves, and we've seen the effort. You can just imagine how many games they play in a short space of time, how many competitions they have to juggle, like Skipper was saying just now. They juggle a lot of competitions. At the same time, they're doing the best they can, and they're still making us proud. So it's just to rally the supporters once again to come. Let's continue to support the boys. Let's continue to make noise, and indeed, hashtag my team needs me.
Yeah, Skipper, to you, as from a leadership point of view, what would you say to the leaders within the team? Your Tembazwane,
Dennis,
your Ronwen. What would be your message to the leadership, especially from the players' point of view? What's the end of the season?
I think it's to continue with the good leadership that they're showing in every match that they play, because in leadership, I always believe that you show leadership by performing well. And some players, they always follow the leader who's performing well. And I've got no doubt the Sundowns leaders, the ones who wear sunband in this team, they really show with their performance. Debza has been the Dennis, Ronza. I can count the whole team deserves that armband. But it's to continue to understand the moments, because they are in a very, very good moment. To reach the CAF Champions League final. That's a big thing, and we have been knocking in that door.
My friend.
And for them to put
end up kicking it,
because
we've been knocking.
For sure. For them to put themselves in that position, it requires them the same attitude, same mentality, of humbling yourself through that period of wanting that, because I always believe that the players that plays football in the highest level, one thing that carries them to podiums is the level of understanding that in the victory they're still human beings. They need to humble themselves in the victory and understand that we're winning, but we're not better than that. But we are a team that is better in preparation, and we are a team that is better in quality individuals that wants to win football matches. And I can look at the team and see and how they get cross with each other with one pass that was supposed to be a firm pass. It's not a firm pass, and that really, really makes me happy to understand that they still understand the details, that they are important.
There's no complacency.
There's no complacency. That's the word I was looking for. No. I get complacency from a doku. He's hot property in Europe. That's the boys, hot property in Europe. Son. No, and exactly that, Modise. That's all I wanted to say about this team. I love them. I just love watching them.
I think that I can echo Linda the same sentiments. Mamelodi Sundowns, beautiful. It's a joy to watch. We understand the responsibility that comes with wearing this Mamelodi Sundowns jersey, and when people think that you deserve, that's when players actually fall into complacency for the team to continue, trying to get into podiums, trying to get better, trying to better the team, and also trying to write their own history in Mamelodi Sundowns colours. It's always beautiful to see. And to the team, to the next fixture, good luck to Mamelodi Sundowns players. Let's display the beautiful, beautiful football that we normally do the beautiful football that people know us for.
Tuk tuk.
And yeah, like Coach Pitch will say, tuk tuk.
Tuk tuk.
Where
Always
Stadium
tell-
was this thing?
Yeah.
Cape Town Stadium, right?
Yeah, they should be going to DHL Stadium. I hope so. I hope
Nice
that's
pitch, Yadumela.
yeah, the pitch is bigger. As much as Cape Town City do have the threats in terms of your Gonzalez, your Rhodes, Kaspiti, but we have played with teams that have such strengths. Let's just hide the ball. Let's use the ball well. And I just hope that the players as well, that will be on the pitch from Mamelodi Sundowns, they play with so much joy and happiness, because that's so important, because then you do
Yeah.
things a little bit simpler,
Oh yeah.
you know.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, guys, thank you very much for this episode.
Modise, you're welcome, mate.
And Khalek Salebone, man. So
I get
it's nice to
flyer,
see.
get flyer.
Yeah.
Modise, get
I want a passport.
Hey, I get a passport. I need to get it soon,
Yeah,
so that I
tell me
must fly
passport,
to United States of America soon.
Yeah, that's
son.
where we need to go. Yes, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, that was your episode of Pitchside Podcast.
Pitchside.
We
Don't
are
forget to subscribe and like and comment. We are
Sandawana
Sandawana.
forever.